Yo, what's up guys, Barks here, and in today's video we're going to be continuing the Wall Team PvP series that I've been doing recently with the Gotha, Liz, Red Gill. But today we've changed the team up a bit because deldry is coming to the game. She's one of a character that I've been looking forward to a long time because I like taunt units, especially in PvP, and combining her with Red Gill is going to be super fun in my opinion. So I've come up with a new lineup which is going to be, you're going to see it and as we get into it in a minute, but the lineup is super fun, it's super trolly. If you like to make people mad, they're going to have a lot of annoying moments playing against this team. So if that's something you like to do, then I definitely recommend trying this team out. If you have any comments about today's video, leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you. Also, if you have any suggestions for other teams you'd like to see, leave a comment. And if you like today's video, remember to leave a like as well. So let's just jump straight into today's video. Alright guys, so as you can see, this is the team look I'm going to use. I'm using Merlin in position 1, I'm using deldry in position 2, and then I'm going to use Gilfunder in position 3, and then I'm going to use Dreyfus in the last spot. As you can see, Gil has 10,770 defense, so as you can tell he's probably running 6-piece defense set, as is his association are also running 6-piece defense set, and I'm also going to run 20% defense food. Then obviously Dreyfus is going to give the red units another 60% defense on top of that. So Red Gill is going to be having like 17,000 defense in these games. So as you can imagine, he's super annoying to kill. He can patience a lot of damage. And when you combine that on top of the Merlin shields, it makes it so he's really hard to CC because he can... it makes it very hard for them to actually break the shield for the CC to land in the first place. So basically what you want to do is at the start of the fight is, whichever unit gets 2 spells, the best play you can normally do is try and combine those spells first to try and get as much ulti gauge as possible. Then you're going to want to shield up on turn 1, and then you're going to want to either use Gil's taunt or you can use deldry's taunt onto Gil, but in today's first turn I'm going to use the Gil taunt. Okay, so now he's going to have an incredibly difficult time to even break the CC onto shield onto Gil. So I don't know what he's going to do. He's going to AoE. It's not going to break the shields obviously, and then obviously that's not going to break the shield either, so his spells have done literally nothing to me. Then now what I want to do is, again, I want to try and get the ultimate gauge up as high as possible. Now because the shield's still really strong, I can leave it on for another turn. I can probably want to try and put as much damage onto King as possible, because King ultimates from like a high ranked King is going to be dangerous to this team even with all the defense. So if I do that, and then I'll put deldry's taunt onto Gil, so that way they have to attack Gil again, and there's no way they're going to be able to CC or taunt Gil and stop the Merlin ultimate, which means that next turn Merlin's going to be able to ultimate King and kill him 100%. As you can see, Red Halbram is doing absolutely nothing to Gil. He just tanks all the damage. The Merlin shield is still on from the first turn, so yeah. So now I think the best thing to do is just to get rid of the blue King, because the King is, like I say, the main threat against the team. So I'll use the Merlin ultimate onto the King, and then if I Merlin shield again and then just use the Gil spell, there's no point in me taunting or using anything else this turn, because Halbram's ultimate is going to remove the taunts. So yeah, it's not really worth it. Ideally, it probably wasn't worth using the shield either, but I want to try and get some more ultimate points into Merlin to keep her ultimate going round. So basically Halbram is going to ultimate now. This is going to remove the shield and it's going to do moderate damage, but it's not going to do that much damage to me because obviously deldry and Red Gill have insanely high defense, so the damage is going to be pretty pitiful. In fact, he doesn't decide to ultimate, which is crazy in my opinion. So yeah, he's pretty much just lost his game 100% now. So I can use Red Gill to one-shot Halbram, then I can cancel Gotha's ultimate with Merlin, and then if I taunt up again, he's going to be able to do nothing. Again, from the previous videos, you should know that my Gil is 6 out of 6, so his ultimate does a lot of damage. But if your Gil's not 6 out of 6, he'll do a lot less damage. but it's worth getting a couple of points into Gil in my opinion, because he's in the coin shop. If you have some spare gold coins, he's a decent investment currently in against Escanor meta, and also he has some good links as well. So basically now the game's over. It's just going to be annoying to try and finish him off, because he's obviously going to try and tank up as much as possible, but ideally he should quit here, because there's a 0 chance he can ever win against me now. But yeah, just going to keep playing it out, keep cancelling the ultimate onto Gotha, and try and build my ulti gauge onto Gil, and then Gil will be able to one-shot him. He's going to try and attack disable me, so I can't cancel his ultimate, but I don't have the skill anyway, so it's not really a big deal. So what I'll do is I'll just use deldry's ultimate to do some gag damage and ultimate lock them next turn, so they can't get any more ultimate gauge, and then I'll just shield it with Merlin. Merlin's shield is going to make it so Gotha's ultimate is going to do pitiful damage, and this is like a stacked Gotha as well. He definitely has at least 2 or 3 points into Gotha based on how much that damage his ultimate does through the shield. I'd say he's probably about 4 out of 6, at least 3 out of 6 is Gotha. So as you can see, it does. Gil and deldry take pretty much no damage from it. And later in the videos, you'll see that with the taunt buff up and a big shield, deldry and Gil against the level 1 ultimate Gotha can actually negate the damage completely, and they don't get their ultimate taken off, which is kind of cool. So his Grimoire is going to be annoying here and keep shielding up, which means that ideally I really need to get the Gil ultimate. That's where it's going to be able to one-shot him, because they have a buff on. But I'll just have to keep playing this out slowly, because there's no other way you can really play this. Again, like the previous team, if you don't enjoy longer games with more thought process, this isn't the team for you. I did try out a different variant which involved deldry, Red Gil and Diane. The games were a lot faster. Obviously, if you can keep the people off Diane for 2 turns, she'll get her ultimate and one-shot everybody, which is super good. But it wasn't really that fun to show in the video, because it was mainly just Diane ult rush, but with 2 taunts to protect Diane, and my Diane's 6 out of 6, so she one-shots anybody, so it wasn't that fun to watch. So I decided to try a different lineup instead with the Merlin, which is more control based, because it's more about keeping the shields onto Gil and deldry, so when they taunt they can't be CC'd, because the damage isn't going to be enough to break the defense down and the shield down, and just slowly killing people really. But obviously Merlin does decent damage still against quite a few units, but in the current meta there's a lot of red units going around, so mainly the main way you're going to be killing people is with deldry ultimate knocking them down to about 40% health, and then either Red Gil one-shotting somebody, or just other than that just grinding them out slowly. So what I do here is I decide to keep the Gil ultimate, because I think that he might shield next turn, so that'll guarantee the one-shot, but I actually kill the Gotha anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And then he's still playing this out. He should have quit a long time ago, so at this point it's just annoying, but he's going to keep trying to kill me. And then now Red Gil is going to be able to one-shot him. And that's pretty much the first game. As you can see, my team didn't really take much damage in total. Like, everyone's still pretty healthy with the exception of Merlin down to half, but to say how many attacks Gil got on him, he's barely lost any health. Deldry is pretty much on full health as well, and Merlin is, like I say, on half health, but she's not really in risk of dying either. So we're going to jump straight into the next game. Hopefully we're going to get a different matchup this time. If you go first against the Kingbrum, it is incredibly difficult for Kingbrum to beat you with this team. If you go second against Kingbrum, it's a lot more skill based and RNG dependent. Like, if they manage to if they're smart and they CC Merlin before you can get the shield up, it makes it a lot more difficult to draw the fight out. But if you do get the Merlin shield off first, then you've pretty much guaranteed the win against the Kingbrum matchup. Now we're playing against somebody with similar gear here. Escanor, Arthur, Gotha, a pretty standard team at the minute. So again, what you want to do is on the first turn, you want to use the combine this character which got the 2 skills to try and get as many ultimate points as possible, and then we're going to use that onto Gil to make him hit Gil, and then I'm going to shield up. This is pretty much a standard first turn. The standard first turn is nearly always going to be combine whoever got 2 spells, then shield up and taunt. So the thing about Deldry's taunt is though, because Escanor with his can remove buffs, he can actually remove the Deldry taunt onto Gil, but if it's Gil's taunt, because it's a stance, he can't do that. So he's probably going to remove the buff and then try and do as much damage as possible. Yep, he decides to remove buffs, which removes the Deldry taunt and the shield from Merlin, so he gets to do some decent damage onto Gil at the start. So now Escanor's got his ultimate up. Now, I could just taunt this, but I'm just going to cancel it down because Merlin's going to do a lot of damage to Escanor anyway. So what I'll do is I'll cancel Escanor's ultimate, then I'll taunt up with Gil, and then I will use this attack spell onto him. This way Deldry's going to get her ultimate next turn. Merlin's also got her ultimate almost, so it's looking pretty good so far. And he's not done much damage to me. Now unfortunately again I don't get a Merlin shield, which means that Gil is actually going to get whittled down here probably. He's really trying his hardest with Escanor to kill Gil, but Gil is just tanking all these shots like a big boss. Whereas if you see how much damage this is doing, that's how much damage that's doing to a 17k defense red Gil with taunt up. So you can tell how much damage that would do, and how much damage that Escanor would do if it was on like a normal unit. It would absolutely crush them. So this guy has pretty good gear on his Escanor. So what I'll do is again, I'll cancel the ultimate, and then I'll use Deldry's ultimate. That way it's going to stop him from gaining ultimate gauge with Gotha and Arthur. It's also going to stop him getting ultimate gauge with Escanor unless he uses the spell which makes him gain an ultimate point, which I'm not sure how that interaction works actually. I'm not sure if he can actually gain the ultimate to get the buff from the spell, or if the Deldry spell blocks him from getting the point in the ultimate at all. So we'll see. He does decide not to use any spells though, so I'm guessing it does block it. So again, obviously because of Deldry's passive, which is super good, it makes it so any AoE spells used on the unit that's taunted at the start of the fight can't do any damage because it hits Deldry and everyone else. So this whole fight, all of Gotha's AoE spells are going to miss, so he's never going to be able to attack lock me, which means that I can always remove ultimate gauge with Merlin whenever I have the chance to. So instead of killing Escanor here, I'm going to kill Arthur, because I'm a little bit more worried about Arthur ultimate than Escanor. So what I'll do is, actually Deldry crits and bops Escanor, which is pretty cool. But yeah. So the fight's pretty much won at this point. There's nothing really he can do. I don't think Arthur's going to be able to burst down Gil, and I don't think Gotha, even if he got the ultimate off, would be able to affect the fight enough to really change the outcome. Again, he misses all his spells again because of Deldry's thing, so he can't attack lock me down, which means I'm able to use 2 Merlin attacks now to reduce the ultimate gauge, which is super cool. And then what I'll do is I can use Gil's attack to get his ultimate. So next turn I'm going to be able to one-shot somebody again. I'll probably one-shot the Merlin, I think, but because Arthur's a bit low and there's no really point killing Gotha, because Gotha can't damage me because of his being locked by the Deldry passive, so he's like 0 threat to me. So he tries to shield up, which again doesn't really do anything because Red Gil's passive gives him double damage against buffed units, so he's going to absolutely annihilate whoever he decides to hit anyway. So I decided actually I'm going to just kill the Arthur off because the Green Merlin is not going to do any damage to me really, and Arthur is one of the units that is, if his ultimate does go off, it could be a problem. Because if he gets his passive doing double crit damage, he could probably kill Gil. Unfortunately, because of the immunity, Deldry's buff does nothing. And very unfortunately, I don't actually manage to cancel the Gopher ultimate with Merlin. He manages to keep the shield on by a sliver. So I'm going to get ultimated now. But I mean, at this point, the fight's pretty much over. He's probably going to kill Gil this turn. But yeah, it's not really a problem. Again, obviously he can't do any damage because he's Deldry's still alive, locking him off. So now I have 2 Deldry taunts, which means that I can just focus on damaging his Merlin out while taunting Dreyfus with Deldry. That way they have to hit the Dreyfus and it protects the Merlin and Deldry. And he can't do any AoE damage on me because of the Deldry passive, so it's pretty safe. And then I'll shield up just to make sure that he can't do any shenanigans. I get a nice auto combine on Merlin there. So my Merlin's gold card's going to absolutely wreck his Merlin. And obviously, because Dreyfus being red as well with the passive defenses buff, he's not going to take much damage from Merlin. So what I'll do is I'll attack Merlin with my Merlin just to get his ulti gauge and also do a good chunk of damage. Then I'll attack with Dreyfus and then I'll taunt onto Dreyfus again. So now Merlin's got a roll him up. There's no way he can stop my Merlin ultimate next turn, which means that he's pretty much dead. And yeah, as you can see, the double taunts are so good against teams that want to either reduce ultimate gauge or CC you, because you can just have so much manipulation onto what they have to attack. As you can see, without the taunts, he probably could have won this fight because I wouldn't have been able to protect Merlin and Deldry, or Merlin and the other unit. But because it is Deldry, I'm able to focus all his damage onto my Dreyfus, which pretty much means that he's lost because Dreyfus doesn't really matter. My Merlin can one-shot his Merlin now, and then his Gotha is never going to be able to attack me anymore because he can't do that unless he gets his ultimate off, because he's blocked from doing damage with his AoE because Deldry's still alive. So yeah, pretty much as long as I keep getting Merlin down ranks on the ultimate, he can't do anything. He probably should just quit at this point. It would be kind of stupid to play it out. Yeah, he does quit. GG's. So yeah, that's how the matchup works, and we're going to get into some different matchups in a minute. Alright, so I just did a cut because I faced the same guy that I just played last game, and it went pretty similar, so it wasn't really worth showing the matchup again. So hopefully we're going to get a different team this time. And yeah, like I was saying guys at the start of the video, if there's any sort of team comms you think might be fun or you'd like to see try, if you leave a comment down below and I have the unit available to me, I'll make a video on it for you, so then that way you can see if it's something that you like and you don't want to have to waste your own resources, like I'll waste my resources instead. So yeah, if that's something you want, leave a comment and I'll try and do the best I can to give you the sort of matchups that you guys are wanting to see. So we're playing against King Brim again this time. So what I'll do is, again, you want to combine the skill that you get 2 of at the start to get as much ulti as possible, and then I'm going to taunt and shield again. This time I'm going to actually taunt onto Deldry instead of Gil, because she has a passive onto Helbram this time, so that forces him to use the King passive Petrify at the start, so if she wants to try and CC, but I don't think he's going to be able to break the shield. Yeah, he doesn't break the shield, so he's wasted that, and now next turn, when Gil taunts, he's going to be able to probably passive the Helbram CC, so now he's in a bad spot. And I've just got my max ultimate gauge onto Merlin, so next turn, King is going to get one shot. So what I'll do is I'll just double combine to get as much ultimate as possible, and then I'll taunt again. And like I said this time, because he attacked the Deldry the first turn, there's no way he's going to be able to remove the ult gauge now, because Gil is going to be able to passive Helbram. And then that does like not enough damage to break the shield, so the CC does nothing. So now He's got 2 ultimates up. So what I can do is I can just one-shot the king straight away. Then I'll remove the ultimate gauge onto Gotha and Helbram. Actually, I think I'll do it the other way around. I'll one-shot the king, and then I'll use the gold spell onto Gotha, and then I use the single onto Helbram, because the Helbram ultimate's not going to do anywhere near as much as the Gotha ultimate. So king's gone already. So that's the one part of the team that was a threat to me. And now that does a lot of damage to Gotha, and Helbram can't ultimate either, which buys me another turn. So at this point in the game, there's not really much you can do. Like, Merlin's going to have a hard time trying to reduce the ultimate gauge on with the shields up, and he's going to try and rush Gotha ultimate. As you can see, Guild Patience, the attack lock. Unfortunately, it does hit the Merlin, so I'm not able to reduce the Gotha ultimate, so I'm pretty much going to have to tank the Gotha ultimate now. So what I can do is, if I shield up and taunt, and then use the Guild attack, I should be able to tank the Gotha ultimate, because I don't think it's a super high ranked Gotha ultimate based on his team CC. So at worst, Merlin's going to lose ultimate gauge and Deldry loses ultimate gauge, but I don't think Gil's going to lose his ultimate. Oh wow, Deldry managed to keep the ultimate as well, which means he's doubly fucked now. And then obviously Guild Patience Helbram again, and then Merlin does nothing to the shield, so he can't reduce ultimate gauge, which means that I can now, I'll kill Gotha with the Deldry ultimate, and then I'll use the Guild ultimate onto Helbram to blow up Helbram, and then basically it's just going to be Merlin left, and the game's 100% over at this point. I'll do that to get more ultimate gauge as well. He should probably quit after this, because there's literally no way he can win now. Deldry should kill the Gotha, hopefully. It's also going to lock the Merlin, so his Merlin can't get any ultimate. He's 100% dead next turn now, and as you can see, Gil and Deldry are on full health still. He never managed to break the shields, and Merlin took a small amount of damage. If you go first against the Kingdom matchup, you are almost guaranteed to win, unless you get super bad draws, because it just has so much control against it, whereas the whole point of the Kingdom team is they want to CC you, but because of the shields and the taunts, there's no way they can CC you because you can negate it all. So it's kind of trolly, and it's super good against Kingdom. And if you see a lot of Kingdoms, this is definitely a team you can run against the Kingdoms, and it's kind of funny. So now we're going to play the final game. This is going to be the promotion to Challenger. Hopefully we're going to get a team that we've not seen yet. It'd be nice to get like a Diana Ulti Rush team, or a Hauser King team, or something like that. Okay, we do get the Hauser Gotha Arthur. Hopefully I taunt the Hauser. Unfortunately, I don't taunt the Hauser, so Hauser's going to be able to do damage to me still. But again, I've taunted the Gotha, so that means he's not going to be able to attack lock me ever this fight, which means that I can always reduce ultimate gauge with Merlin, which is super cool. Which means that I should have the control to beat him easily, unless he does a lot of damage with Hauser, but I don't think he's going to be able to do that much damage. Yeah, he doesn't really do much damage. He does like a little bit of chip and removes the Merlin shield. So what I can do now is if I move the Gale spell, and then I reduce the ultimate gauge of Hauser, and then I'll taunt again. That way next turn I should be able to get all 3 ultimates up. And I have the ability to reduce his ultimate gauge down. So I think he's going for the Arthur buff. He doesn't get the rank 3 though, which means that Deldry is going to be able to ultimate lock him. So I think the best play I can do here is if I remove the ultimate gauge of Gotha first, and then if I attack and taunt. Oh, I actually wasted too much time there. I actually would have been better to combine the deldry spell, so I got the deldry ultimate. But unfortunately, I lost like the guild spell, so I'm not going to have the deldry ultimate like I wanted. But it's not going to really matter that much. So he's starting to build up a lot of ultimate gauge now, which is slightly worrying. But because he's got the Arthur buffs on, that's going to allow me to one-shot anybody with Guild Thunder. Again, he can't attack lock me. He does a tiny bit of damage onto Guild Thunder with Arthur. So what I can do is, if I think I'm going to blow up the Arthur, because Arthur is the most annoying part of this team really. So if I blow up the Arthur, and then if I attack lock Hauser with Merlin ultimate, and then I'll use the Merlin single attack spell to remove the Gopher ultimate. So that does 200k to Arthur, he's gone. This should do decent damage to Hauser. Nice, almost kills him, and he's attack locked, so he can't do anything next turn. And this is going to remove the Gotha ultimate, which means that Gotha can't do anything next turn either, because he's set for upgrade, because he's not going to be able to attack lock me again. So basically, unless you've got some good Merlin cards now, he's going to get pretty much wrecked. He is luckily going to get an auto combine onto the Gotha though, which gives him the ultimate back, which is really unlucky for me, but it can't really be helped. So he's going to ult me. It's probably going to do not much damage. Yeah, it just tickles the team pretty much. Doesn't really do much. So what I can do now is I can Merlin shield again, and then if I bop Hauser with Deldry, and then I'll just do another attack just to make sure I kill the Hauser off. It does kill him the first time. So it's going to do a little chip again onto a Gopher. So now, basically, he can't do anything because he's not going to be able to stop my Merlin from reducing ultimate gauge because he can't attack lock me. So it's basically just a matter of time now until he loses. So if I attack the Merlin with Deldry, and then I'll save the ulti reduction for next turn, and then if I just try and get some, actually I'll use it this turn, and then I'll just taunt up with Guild Thunder. That way he's not going to be able to reduce any ultimate gauge onto the two damage dealers. He's going to have to hit Gil, and he's not going to be able to do much damage to kill, and he's not going to break the shield. So as you can see, he manages to tank with the shield up, so he doesn't lose any ultimate gauge. So what I can do now is if I combine the Merlin shields, that's going to get ultimate next turn. Then if I cast a taunt again, just to protect Deldry and Merlin, that way he's not going to be able to reduce their ultimates again. And then with the shield, that's going to make it so he can't reduce Gil's ultimate as well. So as you can see, the tactic with this is super good. Like, that actually stops a lot of units from doing what they're actually designed to do in the meta. Like Merlin again, she's not going to break the shield, so she doesn't do anything. And now what I can do is I can use Deldry spell. This is going to lock Merlin from getting ultimate. Then if I ultimate Gopher, that means he's definitely going to die. And then if I just attack again, that's going to should kill Merlin maybe. I think it might kill Merlin if it crits. Is it going to kill? Yep, it does get a nice critical there, and because of a double damage on criticals, it easily kills the Merlin. So yeah guys, that's basically the first games that I played with this team. As you can see, it works really good. I didn't actually lose a game, and I'll just show you the gear that I'm running, just for the people that managed to wait till the end of the video. I'll show you the gear. There's going to be somebody commenting, what gear do you run? So I'll know if they're not watching the end of the video. So let's just go into the gear. So basically for Merlin and Arthur, I'm basically just using attack sets. This way it's going to give Merlin as much attack as possible, and it's a decent attack set. Then where's Gil? For Gil, I'm using 6-piece defense set. As you can see, it's really good SSR gear, so he does really good amount of defense. For his association on Gila, again I'm using of a defensive set, a full 6-piece defense set. That way it's going to give the Gila as much defense as possible. When combined with the Dreyfus passive, that's how you get so much defense. And then on Deldry I'm just using like a random attack defense set. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Yeah, I hope you can try some of these tactics out yourself, because I think it is a very good tactic in the current meta. It's good against a lot of the matchups. It's really good against Halbram. It's pretty good against Escanor. It's really good against red teams, as you can see. It's just again a bit of a slow tactic fight, so if you don't mind having some longer games, it is something that you can have a lot of fun with. And also, you know that the people you're playing against are getting really mad, especially when you're patienting and stopping them from doing what they want to do. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. Leave a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed it. And like I say, any questions or teams you want to see, leave a comment. And also, if there's any other videos you want to see about different content that you're having trouble with, leave a comment about that, and I'll try and make a video about it. So my whole point is to make you guys better at the game and learn some new stuff. So yeah, see you later, guys. Cheers.